All right, welcome back to the channel. Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver is out on Netflix, and I have some thoughts that I want to share with you. Currently, right now, it is number one in many different parts of the world: Australia, US, Canada, Brazil, the UK, Belgium. The list goes on and on and on. And it's awesome. I want to dig into some of the story a little bit, but also some of the things that I'm seeing online. And I'm not really sure what the deal is. I find it funny that some people like to come on social media and just spew a lot of hate towards a director in particular, like Zack Snyder. I don't really understand it. I really am trying to understand it. I don't listen to critics. I just don't. I don't listen to people that chime online about a film that they haven't seen. If you're on my channel, I'm going to encourage you to go watch and go experience the movie yourself and judge it for yourself. I may have some thoughts about it, but those are my thoughts. They're not necessarily your thoughts. That's the beauty of us having different opinions. And so, but I do find it interesting that people hate a film that they haven't seen, and then they go and watch the film, and then they get on social media and say how much they hate the film. And then when you ask them why they hate the film, basically they can't even articulate why they hate the film. So those are the people that you shouldn't listen to. I mean, it's just like, just tune them out, whatever. They're going to say what they're going to say, and they're going to exert a lot of energy and negative energy onto you, and it's going to ruin your mental health. This film, part two, was so great. I loved so many things about it, and I will be spending time watching part one and part two as it was meant to be watched. Actually, it's not even meant to be watched this way. Apparently, I went and did some research and tried to figure out, okay, what's going on here. In doing so, I found out that when Zack Snyder, who's the director of Rebel Moon 1 and 2, when he and Netflix sat down, he presented a rated R version of Rebel Moon. And Netflix came back and was just like, yeah, we need to tone this down to PG-13 because of our focus groups. I love Netflix, and I also hate Netflix. I am not a fan of how they release things. I think that they shoot themselves in the foot many times, and I feel like it's a sad situation. And so when part one came out, I was a little livid because I felt like it deserved a theater release, and it didn't get one. And even if it was just for, like, I don't know, 2 weeks, give it 2 weeks and then put it in your streaming service. I just don't understand why Netflix doesn't do this. That's another video. But apparently they also like to dumb down an original IP because of their focus groups so that their audience could, whatever, more eyeballs, I guess. Okay. That's interesting. Anyways, so here we are. And so Zach came back and was just like, okay, fine. We will give you a PG-13 version of my story. In turn, can I release my original thought? And I'm thinking to myself, man, why does he have to, as a creative, as a storyteller, present something that isn't really what he originally intended? Like, why? These suits, they come in and they think they know, and then it's just like they control things, and they meddle in things that they shouldn't meddle in, and I just don't understand that. Greed, maybe, just ego. I don't know what it is. It's just like, can you just let the guy do his thing, and then judge his work based off of his original idea and original vision? And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to the director's cut because this is ridiculous. I hate when this happens. Also, the release of part one and two, I think was dumb. It was not smart at all. Like, why would you? First of all, part one and part two is one movie. Why would you split that in half? I don't get it. Like, Netflix, wake up. Like, what in the world? And they tend to do this. They tend to shoot themselves in the foot. And it's just like, why? Why are you doing this? What is the point? And so, yeah, part one kind of sort of felt like a little disjointed. Of course it did. It was half the movie. Like, of course it's going to be disjointed. Of course it's going to be incomplete. Of course it's not going to be the full story. At least with all the elements, right? Character development. Although, I mean, I have to say, I see this argument about, well, there wasn't enough character development. We get introduced to Korra in the beginning, and Korra is the main protagonist. You know, we instantly know she has a background and some stuff in her past. And so, okay, cool. And then we get introduced to these other characters, and there are hints to their past in their introduction. And so there's not a whole lot of deep dive character development you can do in 2 hours with a massive story like this. There's just not. I'm sorry. Like 2 hours, and you're trying to. It's a very difficult task. These people, the cast, the crew, everyone involved, dedicated a whole entire year of their lives to create this to entertain you. And come on, guys, like, so I just feel like this man gets so much hate, and I don't understand it, honestly. He had me at 300, frankly. And Man of Steel, holy moly, is one of my favorite films. Talk about character development. He's not dealing with, seven or 10 other characters, with Man of Steel. And so this is a massive story with a lot of characters that have a lot of things underneath their persona, and it's going to take some time. I see it as, honestly, the first hour of Rebel Moon Part 1, Episode 1. We got 4 episodes, technically, if we're going to do that, if we're going to go there. But really, this is the whole movie is Part 1 and 2. And for whatever reason, Netflix decided, hey, let's split this in half. I think it didn't serve the story at all. But here we are. I still liked it. Every movie I watch has some sort of something wrong, of course. But overall, it was pretty solid. Give me a break. And part 2 was astounding. It was just visually stunning. I'm sorry. The music was amazing. Music was amazing in part 1 too. It was the thing that made me fall in love with part 1. And then you get Korra in the mix. And then you hear her theme. And then there's a lot of emotional stuff going on there with her. I don't understand some of the arguments. Honestly, I do not. Okay, aside from that, holy moly. Okay, respect to Zack Snyder. Hello, he builds his own lenses. Who does that? Who does that? I'm going to build my own lenses. Okay, cool. Sweet. You do that. And then he gives nod to Superman in the film, Man of Steel. Hello, Henry's Superman. Just need to make that clear. So he gives props to that. He gives props to Wonder Woman, and he gives props to Star Wars and Ripley, with the elevator, aliens with Korra in the elevator. Like that, you dude, so much respect. Okay, first of all, I grew up with Ripley, Trinity, Sarah Connor, and Princess Leia. These women on screen were amazing, and all very different in their own way. And I'm a big sci-fi girl, so these women were really a great example for me in cinema. And yeah, when I see Korra in her element and doing her thing, I everything inside of me just wants to explode. And so yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thoroughly enjoyed that I love that he gave nods to those great films. I wish him well. My encouragement is go watch this. Go watch it. You can do it with your family. Thank you, Netflix. Rated PG-13. And watch part 1 and 2 together, and then weigh it. Music was amazing. Junkie XL, my gosh, I love his use of guitar. I have a video where I just kind of go off on his work in the music with this film, and I loved it. And there's so much you can talk about right in the video. So I'm going to talk about Sophia Boutella. I'm going to talk about Hansu because he was amazing. He plays General Titus, and Baydona. She plays Nemesis. And these three really, I don't know, every time they were on screen, I just got emotional. It was like they were wearing their emotion on themselves. So, Korra has been riddled from her past with guilt. And so that the guilt is literally oozing out of her. But she's also this strong warrior. She's a child of war, grew up in this atmosphere, but still has this soft side of her. Her heart is just breaking, over what she did. And there's this heavy guilt. And Nemesis, she lost her entire village because of the Imperium came into her town and killed everyone, her kids. And so she is like the mother of the group in a lot of ways. And oh my gosh, part two was just, ooh, there was a lot of beautiful scenes there, and I think, hey, why not? It's going to help us obviously fall more in love with the characters and root for them. And that's what you want. Hanzu, man, Titus, again, another actor who you can't, he's just so good. Oh my gosh, just stop. Okay. And so you have these really great, this is a really great cast. They're just so good. Anthony Hopkins plays Jimmy's voice. Everyone that had a role in this, solid performances all around. The cinematography was great. There was moments where I had to pause and just look at. I mean, it was just like just stunning. It was stunning, stunning, stunning. For all the haters out there, thank you so much for the views. We really appreciate it. This film is number one, probably all over the world by the time this video is up, and as it should. And so my hope is that Zack gets the green light for the rest of the films. Director's cut comes out in, I believe, August. I will be watching that as well. I want to see what was really intended. You know, the studio's constantly interjecting. It's just mind-boggling to me. It's so crazy. So, yeah, my recommendation, yeah, press play on both part 1 and 2 this weekend with your family. It's a good watch. It's a good story, and there's a lot of really great stuff in there. Let me know what you think, of course, and we'll talk to you soon.